You are listening to the I Love Mayapur podcast, Souls in Transit. For years, we've been sharing the vibrant lifestyle of Mayapur through our videos. Now listen to inspiring stories of devotees from around the world. Why do they live as they do? Hear how they overcome challenges and how they practice bhakti in their lives.
Firstly, we should know that we live in the world of Nindalok. Nindalok means where you would be criticized. Even God is criticized. Even His messengers are criticized. So if we say that your life should be absolutely free from criticism, well, that's not practically possible. In a way of expressing my gratitude, I left home. I just passed my 12th standard, and I ran away from home. I did not know that where
How
will I
can
go.
you do this to
Yeah,
your
he has a far out
parents?
show. Yeah.
We hired 100 drones to deliver prasadam.
Really?
Yes, 5 plates. Hare Krishna, 5 plates of prasadam. So,
Really?
yeah, so every day around 5 lakh plates of prasadam.
Welcome everyone to our latest episode of our podcast. Today we have with us His Grace Amogh Leela Prabhu. He needs no introduction, but still, for the sake of formality, is one of the most dynamic young preacher that we have in our movement. I mean, me calling him young, but and we are very, very excited to have him in Mayapur because there was the grand opening of the Narasimha wing at the TOVP. So he came for this occasion, and we thought, okay, let's quickly grab hold of him and
We did.
catch him.
We catched him.
Yeah,
Thank you.
It's very
Keep
difficult.
catching me.
It's very difficult to get hold of him. He's so busy. So, welcome, Prabhu. And,
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
And we are going to just begin. You're a very public figure. You're all over the social media and all of that. And I'm sure you must have been asked this question hundreds of times. But still, because we have a more worldwide global audience, not just India.
Yeah.
And many of them are actually not, let's say, ISKCON devotees, so to speak. They are friends of devotees, and we have a broader audience. So just for everyone, just quickly, if you can say, before coming to Krishna consciousness, before becoming a monk, what was your life like? What were you doing? And what inspired you to come to Krishna consciousness?
Well, firstly, I'm very grateful to this I Love Mayapur channel. This is one of my favorite channels. The content is so rich. It is visually a feast. And I'm one of the members of the fan club of I Love Mayapur channel. So firstly, I'm feeling really honored to be part of today's podcast. And regarding my life, not that I was very extraordinary as a child. God sent me to deliver the world. No, I was
Haribol.
very ordinary
Jai.
as a child. I was very ordinary.
Sadhpuja.
And but yes, I always had the desire to do good to others. So in the beginning, I had the desire to become a millionaire. I'll make a lot of money and help poor people. But then I realized that in my observation that people are suffering less because of body and more because of their minds. Even there are people who have power, post, position, comforts, aristocracy, beauty, fame, and everything which we think is happiness. They have, yet they are not happy. That means the misery is less because of body, more because of the mind. So let me serve the minds. So instead of becoming a millionaire, I decided to become a monk. Because a monk should firstly work on his own mind, and then we can serve other people's minds. Second is that I could see that God gave me everything the best. Whether parents, lovely sisters. In academics, I was not really a topper, but I was okay. Like in university, I was rank 5. So that was academically also, I was good. In terms of, I would say, extracurricular activities, singing, dancing, painting, sketching, extempore, I was good at that also. So I could see that God has given me so much, but I'm such a rascal that I'm not giving anything in return to God. So that's why also I decided that I should become a monk, and then whatever God has given to me, I should give it back as a reciprocation, as a way of my gratitude to God. So that's why I decided to be a monk. Also, monks, they would attract my attention. They are different kind of people, Just like there are cows, they are inside the homes, they are taken care of, and there are bulls. Bulls are roaming around, And I like the bull kind of life. Although cows are also wonderful, but bulls, ox. So monks are like that. It's a freestyle life, free to serve, selfless life. So that always attracted my attention. So in this way, gradually I developed my my inclination towards becoming a monk. But yes, I want to complete my education, serve my parents for some time, and with their blessings, I wanted to become a monk. So my parents, being very kind to me, they said, "Okay, my dear child, in your happiness is our happiness." So they blessed me to become a monk. And then after 10 years of practice outside as a student, as a software professional, then I took a VRS, voluntary retirement from services, and then I joined as a monk in the year 2010. In the year 2000, I came to ISKCON, and then by 2010, 10 years of practice and observing the material world as well as spiritual world, I could see both the worlds at my purview. I could see that, well, those who are spiritual people, they are happy people. Materialist people, they may have everything, but they are not happy. It's more of a show off of happiness, but they are not really happy. It's a plastic smile, but genuine content is not there. I could see that being with them, working with them for 6 years, worked with some top-notch professionals. I could see that, well, those who are spiritual, they are happy people. So that's why I decided to be a monk. So in the year 2010, then I joined as a monk. And then the journey continues, and finally I'm in Mayapur Dham in I Love Mayapur channel.
Did you stay at home during your studies, or
Yes.
did you stayed already in a temple during your studies?
Yes, I was staying at home with my parents. I was working as a software professional also. At that time also I was there with my parents. And then I joined full-time as a monk.
I have a couple of questions. I was obviously doing some research about your life, and I read, I don't know how true it is, and you can explain more, that even much earlier you sort of kind of left house also for a year or something,
Yeah.
and you were doing some spiritual exploration.
yeah.
Would you like to share something about?
Of course, why not?
Yeah.
Well, actually, I left my home because I knew that God gave me everything the best. So, in a way of expressing my gratitude, I left home. I just passed my 12th standard and I ran away from home. In search of God.
You like ran away
Yes,
without telling
yeah.
parents, just take notes.
I just left a note in search of God. I am leaving home. I'll come back as soon as I find God. Please do not search for me, because by the time you will receive this letter, I would be far, far away. In this way, I left with the letter, and then
How can you-
I did not know that where
How
will I
can
go.
you do this to
Yeah,
your
he has a far
parents?
out. Yeah.
So at that time, I could see that some power was actually driving me. So I left home, and then I went to Jaipur. I went to Mount Abu. I went to Gujarat. Then I went to Mumbai, Hyderabad, came to Rishikesh, Haridwar, and then finally came back to Delhi. So meeting with various spiritual leaders, gurus, some pseudo gurus, some partially realized gurus, learning something from them, and then I kept moving because I was like walking question bank, and I was seeking answer bank. So I wanted authentic, detailed, scientific, heart-transforming answers to my questions. So being with various teachers,
How old you were at this time? How old?
I was 19 years old.
12th
19.
standard, yeah, 18, 19.
Yeah, 18, 19. So 19 years old. So finally, when I came to the Hare Krishnas, here I got scientific, bona fide, genuine, authentic answers to my questions and all of my questions. Because at rest of the places when I would go, so they would say, you ask so many questions. Have faith, man. Have some faith. You ask so many questions. And I just say, you should have some faith. I said, what to speak of faith? I'll give my life, but I want all answers to my questions. So when I came to the Hare Krishnas, I would have 3, 4, 6 hours of question and answer sessions, and they, with such patience, would answer me, and then followed by prasadam, so that I can digest their answers. So in this way, I was convinced that yes, this is not a cult. Hare Krishna is not a cult by some Babaji, some Guruji in recent past. No, it is a timeless wisdom. It is a time-tested wisdom. Yes. Mirabai, Tukaramji, all these great saints, they have done bhakti. Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, they have done bhakti. Bhakti is the ultimate path. So it's not a concocted path. Yes, so I should go for this path. And then, of course, there are further more queries, and then I got very satisfying answers to my questions. And even when there were counter questions, again, very satisfying answer would come. So in this way, I could see that yes, bhakti is the path. It is not a concocted path. It's not a cult. It's a natural function of the soul. And I realized this. So in this way, finally, I realized the path, and then I came back home. And after coming back to home, then I resumed my studies. I did my engineering in computer science, worked for 6 years to serve my parents. And then, with their permission, I said, well, my sisters are married. Now, since now they have already worn the red cloth, as the ladies in Indian culture, they wear red sari. And in this way, they are married.
Right.
So I said, I should also take now red color cloth because I should also get married in a spiritual way. So in this way then,
So, I mean, I have several other questions, but since we are still on this topic,
Yeah.
just out of natural curiosity, I want to explore a little bit more. One is that usually we see that youngsters, younger generations, especially who are from kind of well-to-do families, who are well good in academics, who are kind of popular in school, etc. God is kind of the last thing on their mind usually. They think these are some old-fashioned thoughts. This is something superstitious. This is for people who are uneducated. This is not cool. Everything.
Yeah.
So I'm just surprised that you are very much of our generation.
Yeah.
So it is little bit uncommon for youngsters, especially who have everything, to think of God.
Yeah.
How it was just natural? Somebody in your family was religious. You read something. How? From where this curiosity came about God?
Actually, of course, my parents were very religious. In fact, whenever there would be a power cut, at that time, my mother, my father, my sisters would chant Lord Hari's name. Hari Om Tat Sat, Hari Om Tat Sat, Mahamantra hai ye japa kar, Hari Om Tat Sat. Now, Hari Om Tat Sat is going for hours because power cut is for 3-4 hours. now what to do? Well, he'll
Interesting.
do Hari Om Tat Sat. So, religious culture was certainly there. Also, such people who say that, religiosity or spirituality is for backward people, they do not even touch the surface of spirituality. When I was studying in my 6th standard, so in NCERT book, which is our textbook in schools,
Yes.
so there was Sanskrit also
Yes.
as one of the subjects. So there was one chapter on the Gita Shlokam. And there it was mentioned, Chanchalam hi mana Krishna pramathi balavad dharam, that mind is very restless, very powerful, very obstinate, very strong. I could say, well, this is my mind. How can NCERT book, my course book, can expose my mind? So it was very revealing. So whether Gita Shlokam or Chanakya Niti, all of these verses, they would make a lot of sense to me. So I could say that here is a divine wisdom which explores the inner world. So I never judged the path of spirituality on its surface, just making an image about it and some perception and that's it. No, I actually got a glimpse of it and I could see that yes, there is a vast nectar. That was one thing. Second, during my school and college days, I was Love Guru. Love Guru? Love Guru is a person where people with broken-hearted, the broken-hearted girls or broken-hearted boys, they would come for counseling. Why? No, we love someone so genuinely. Why can't we get true love? And then I would counsel them. But I could see, well, all of this love is so fake. Yeah. Nobody loves anyone. They love just themselves. The one who gratify my senses, I love you. You also gratify my senses, okay? I love you too. That's what love is all about in this world. I could practically see this. So I never got into those affairs. This is all pirated. This is not the real stuff. So that way also I saved myself in young age, because in young age, when you are handsome, good looking, and girls, they also approach, or girls being approached by the boys, this is so natural. But I could observe clearly being Love Guru while counseling them. Well, it is not the real stuff. Yes. So that is also I saved myself. And by working with some top-notch people who are like crore-patis, millionaires and billionaire people, they are so hollow and shallow from inside, full of egotism, exploitative mentality. I could see rich bosses, whenever a lady enters their room, they scan her up and down. Hey, baby. Not satisfied, actually. So I could see that even money does not satisfy you. Sensuality can't satisfy you. It's clearly, evidently visible, actually. And here I could see in the world of spirituality that people are very satisfied, happy-go-lucky. Whether there are good times or bad times, whether there is profit or there is loss, there is respect or there is insult, whether there is fame or there is infamy. In all of these dualities, they are cheerful people. Wow. So here is more substantial life, which was clearly evident. So in a young age, just by observing all of this, I saved myself from the glamour of Kali Yuga. Otherwise, glamour of Kali Yuga is very alluring. It can allure the mind of anyone. But I was saved that way. And of course, ultimately, it was grace of the Lord. And maybe somebody has prayed for me that, okay, child, bless you. May God protect you from the glamour of Kali Yuga. That way I got saved.
Interesting. And one, just to kind of conclude this part of your life. Again, I'm sure you must have been asked this so many times.
Most welcome.
But everybody sort of wants to know that, okay, very good spirituality, you were God, everything is very good. Why become a monk? Why not remain a householder, do a very good job, earn money, donate to the temple, and practice very good householder life?
Yes.
So why become a monk?
Yes. Firstly, I don't recommend that everyone should become a monk. It's absolutely okay. We have
Thank you.
we have Prajam Prabhu, we have Sudevi Mataji. And I Love Mayapur is driven by householders. And I must say it is a very practical ashram for Kali Yuga people. And especially this quality of household life, I would say hundreds of brahmacharis or monks like me, we pay obeisances to this Grihastha ashram, which is full of Krishna consciousness actually. So millions of obeisances to such glorious household life. So practical ashram for Kali Yuga people is Grihastha ashram. And Grihastha life, in a very sober way, husband, wife, they help each other in Krishna consciousness at all level, whether physical level, emotional level, spiritual level, and that's perfectly fine. But there are few
It has
people.
some benefits.
Yeah, so we require some monks as well. So as per my nature, I could see that I am more meant for monk life.
Okay.
I'm not meant for household life. I'm too freestyle actually. So my wife would have been so much trouble that this guy is too freestyle, you know. And astrologically, it is mentioned that either one or two wife would first die because of my karma connection.
Interesting.
And then next marriage would be like made in heaven. So that means I have to sacrifice the life of one Mataji. And then I can have very heavenly household life. So as per karma connection, astrologically, somebody has to die to make me a very happy householder. So that would not be good, of course.
It's not a good start.
So astrologically also I am not suitable for
Okay.
Grihastha life. And my Gurujan, my spiritual teachers also expected me to be a monk.
Oh.
So for their pleasure also, I was supposed to be a monk. And also as per my nature, I'm not very ambitious kind of person. I'm not sensually very attracted to women.
Okay.
Although I would not say that I'm free from all kind of lusty desires. I'm liberated soul. Not that. But yes, it is so minimal that it does not really disturb me.
Okay.
So that's why I could see that I'm not really meant for household life. I'm not very ambitious to make money and become very famous, powerful person. I'm very simple person. That's it. So God made me like this. Thank you, God. So I think I'm meant more for monk life. So just like we see, most of the people are civilians, but few BSF forces
Right.
are, so such army officers are also required.
Right.
They protect the boundary of the country.
Right.
Army officers. Similarly, 99.99% people are grihasthas, and we are very happy with that. But some BSF soldiers are also required. Like BSF means Bhakti Security Forces. So they are also required. Just like the army officers, they protect the boundary of a nation. Similarly, some monks are also required to protect the boundary of morality in the society, because they are full-fledged dedicated to society. They don't have wife, they don't have children, they don't have house to maintain. In terms of prasadam, we can come to I Love Mayapur home and then have some prasadam. So cool life. So we are here just to serve more to the society. So some monks are also required, maybe 0.01%. But 99.99% the people, they can be householders, and somebody's householder like, here I am seeing, well, all the brahmacharis, we are ready to pay obeisances to such glorious grihastha ashram.
Because you are a very public figure, and you also are, I would say, usually very vocal and very open about your beliefs and your thoughts. You already know where I'm leading towards.
Yes.
So first of all, I would like to ask, before even going anywhere, do you agree that you have very strong political or religious or moral or ethical beliefs? Do you agree? Do you accept?
Yes, I agree.
Okay,
Yes,
very good.
Absolutely.
And you also
We should be proud of our
And you're also outspoken about, like, you.
Yes, I'm outspoken.
He is outspoken for
Yes,
sure.
for sure.
This is not even a question. So,
Yes.
so some people also say that you are kind of like a little bit hard line or fanatical, or you know all of these things.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so
Just say it. Just say it. Just out.
no.
Put it.
I'm basically my question is that how would you like to say something in this regard? For example, there have been several, not several, but few instances where you have landed up in some controversy
Yeah.
because of because you're also a very humorous person, and sometimes you say something in a humorous spirit, and it completely gets misconstrued, whatever. But
Yeah.
so what would you like to say? Or respond to such things?
Yeah. Firstly, we should know that we live in the world of Nindalok. Nindalok means where you would be criticized. Even God is criticized. Even His messengers are criticized. So if we say that your life should be absolutely free from criticism, well, that's not practically possible. Even somebody is working very hard, like for example, say Narendra Modi, he works every day 18 hours. Still, there are people who criticize him. So somebody once asked him that, even though you work so hard, but there are people who criticize you. How do you feel about it? So Narendra Modi ji, he gave a fabulous reply. He said that whenever Super Soul or Paramatma or God has to send me any message, it would come from the criticizers. That this is how God wants me to improve. Those who are praising us, they're inspiring us. Thank you so much for your kind words, good words of appreciation. Yet at the same time, in case God wants me to improve, so He may not personally come, but He would send a criticizer to send me a feedback. So then Modi ji said, so whenever somebody criticizes me, I just take a pen and paper and then note down, okay, criticism 1, criticism 2, criticism 3. Thank you so much. I'll contemplate on them. Okay, 1 and 2, yeah, I should work on. Third one, it's out of enviousness. Okay. Third one, ignored, but 1 and 2, I should work on. In this way, we can take criticism with positive attitude. So people would be criticized. So, which also includes this small insignificant soul, Amogh Leela Das. So, of course, we can always be diplomatically correct. But on the name of being diplomatically correct, we should also not compromise our integrity. We have our own spiritual integrity. We should not compromise on that. Yet at the same time, those who are not matching with our beliefs, we can't be very harsh on insulting them. Even if we are to give some kind of disagreement, it has to be with respect. Like some of the controversy in the past, there I said, I respectfully disagree from such and such person who used to eat meat.
I have actually heard exactly what you said, and I was so shocked that it became anyway.
Yeah. So this can happen, So we can humbly disagree with people, and when you speak out the truth, and those are bitter truths, although you may give the bitter truths with honey, yet when people come in touch with that bitter truth, they feel little uneasiness, and that's fine. We are not here to make people feel cozy in the lap of their ego. Yeah, it's good. It's fine. It's okay. It's okay, but also improve. So we have to do that as well. And that's the job of a spiritual teacher. We have one of our great acharyas. His name is Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. He used to say that if a sadhu flatters you, he's your enemy. So sadhu should not flatter. Yeah, whatever you're doing, it's good. It's cool, man. Come on, keep it up, guys. Yeah, he's such a good person. No, not. Nowadays, people need leaders with clear thinking. They should have clarity in their thinking, and then they would have clarity in what they do. Yet at the same time, they should have humanness in their thinking. That people can take time to improve. People can take time to digest truths. And that's perfectly okay. Perfectly okay. So I'm not impatient in terms of then why people are not accepting it. It's okay. People take time. Like Srila Prabhupada used to give example of wet grass, green grass, dry grass. Dry grass immediately catches fire. Green grass takes some time. Wet grass, in the beginning there is some smoke, and then that also catches fire. So acceptability of the transcendental truth can take some time in different individuals, and that's perfectly okay. And meanwhile, they can criticize me. It's okay, but I know that what I'm speaking is not my belief. This belief system is coming from scriptures, from the great devotees, self-realized souls, and ultimately from God Himself. I am just a mouthpiece. I'm just a loudspeaker from where the voice is coming. But actually the thoughts are coming from them. So in terms of integrity of my thoughts, when I say they are clear, black and white, they are clear. Yet at the same time, I also acknowledge the grey shades. I'm not a very strict kind of extremist. Either black or white, grey, you hypocrite. I don't say that. Those who are on grey shades, they can be gradually brought to a stage of clarity, and they can take their time. So with that humanness, we can present the truth as it is. Because we acknowledge that not everyone can digest truth immediately. So meanwhile, people can criticize, and that's okay. But there can be some good criticism for us, and that's fine, where I can improve. And some of the criticism, they can come out of enviousness also, which is also fine. Because there are people who are envious. And somewhere enviousness is a way of appreciation. That you are so good, that I feel envious of you. So thank you for being envious with me. Thank you. But may Lord Krishna free you from this enviousness. but in a way, it is indirect way of appreciation. So in this way, we can handle it, criticisms and controversies. So that would happen, especially when we speak the truth as it is. Some people can take time to digest it, and that's perfectly okay.
I mean, I think people in general have very clear visions, and also people also very outspoken.
Yeah.
There's people who are actually also successful and have actually get some attention, and people like to listen to this kind of people. Actually,
Yes, that's true.
if you're like very,
You are all over the place and
you want to please everyone,
Yeah,
and you
that's
like
true.
sugarcoat everything, and
Yeah.
so actually it's
Like some of the Americans, when they saw Srila Prabhupada in America, what they liked about him? One of the qualities was, this person is not trying to impress anyone. He's just what he is. And that beauty of his integrity was admired by those who are intellectual people. That this person is not trying to superficially acting in a way to impress anyone. He's just what he is. That's it. So we should admire our spiritual identity, which God has blessed upon us, at the same time having a merciful heart for everyone. And that's very human.
But the larger question, for example, is that you personally seem to be very convinced and very clear in
Yeah.
your thoughts, in your beliefs.
That's true.
I personally am not so clear. For me, things are not so black and white. I always tend to think that, man, there are so many gray areas which are not clear to me. There are multiple religions, there are multiple philosophies, there are multiple faiths, and they all claim to have the absolute truth on their side. So many things. So where do you stand? Like you have a very clear belief and your personal belief and what you practice. But I see your tweets, you are very active, you have some very strong stances towards conversion, forceful conversions, etc. And you never mince words. So, kind of, what do you think? Like, let's say, okay, there's Muslims, there's Christianity, there's Advaita, there is Mayavad, there's Jainism, Buddhism. In your mind, what role do these things play, and people who follow these faiths?
Yes.
What is your opinion of them? What do you feel or think about them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In any religion, when there is a prophet or a messenger, they come and then they influence the masses. They cannot do this by the will of the Lord. So somewhere the will of the Lord is there. So that's why we see a certain prophet or a certain messenger in a certain community. They are so influential, very powerful. And then they start a certain religion. So without stamping, without approval of God, it cannot happen. So God is empowering that particular prophet or messenger to let that cult or religion come into being. But in Kali Yuga, why these different religions or different cults, they start? Why so? What's the reason? The reason is that in Kali Yuga, people, when they get misguided, so they become so downtrodden that they cannot come to the ultimate level of bhakti, which is the philosophy of love, which is the religion of love, which is a very exalted thing. So somewhere people have to become first sattvic, that means come to mode of goodness, and then from there, this can be like a stepping stone to enter into transcendence. But somebody cannot make a huge jump to transcendence. So different religions and these, or say pseudo-religions or semi-religions, they come into being so that people can become sattvic. Somewhere if you see that, there are prayers and eating mindfully, all of these activities, it makes person more sattvic. It makes person come to the mode of goodness. So mode of goodness, it helps a person to go further. So they come and somewhere you see that they promote vegetarianism. One should not eat after sunset. Be kind to others. You should treat your neighbor the way you expect your neighbor to treat you. And you should not, thou shalt not kill. All of these dictates in different religions make you sattvic. And somewhere that is required. So, but ultimate philosophy is that of devotion. And you see, basic template of any genuine religion, whether it is Christianity or Islam, basic template is that of devotion. God is great and we are His servants. That's it. But in terms of details, they miss out the details. And they are present in Sanatan Dharma. And that's why we see that so many case studies are there, so many messages, so many intricacies of philosophy are there in Sanatan Dharma, very beautifully explained. And they are not present in other religions. Because the purpose of the other religions is not to make you really transcendental, is to make you sattvic. And from there, you can have your launch pad to transcendence, which comes by bhakti, devotion, pure devotion, intense devotion, maddening devotion, which is given in Sanatan Dharma. Like that. So that's why we respect other religions as well, that you are helping people come in a way closer to God, or at least come to the platform where you can launch yourself to pure devotion. And that's why we see in different parts of the religions, people have come to bhakti, but nobody has left bhakti to go into other sects or cults or religions. Never. But once you are here, you are satisfied. Yes, this is all in all. Very few, maybe one in a zillion, somebody leaves. Otherwise, no one.
Oh, I feel it does ultimately answer, like, it's just philosophically answers all the questions.
Yes.
I mean, this I can see from.
That's
I
true,
mean,
it's
I
really
came from Christianity background, so.
Yeah.
Anyways, I mean, we can
That's
talk a
true.
lot about this stuff.
Like
but-
basic concepts like reincarnation can be explained with case studies in Sanatan Dharma. Like there was King Bharat, became Dear Bharat, and become Jad Bharat. Clearly, a case study of reincarnation is there. And it's also explained that how one actually makes transmigration from one body to another body. But in other religions, it's not there. About hell, we have description of 28 kinds of hell. Wow. Other religions, there is just hell and heaven. We have 14 planetary systems. Wow. And then there is also spiritual world. Oh, wow. So there is more detailed description of everything, every phenomena in Sanatan Dharma, because this is the original religion. In all the ages, whether Satyuga, Dwapar, Treta or Kalyuga, all the 4 ages, Sanatan Dharma is there. Other religions, they start within Kalyuga. Kalyuga started 5,000 years ago, and different religions, they come within the boundary of timeline of Kalyuga. 2,000 years ago, 1,400 years ago, 600 years ago, 2,500 years ago, but within the timeline of Kalyuga.
I think one issue is always that people, they always have to think in terms of religion, sect, identified so strongly also with it. But actually, like when you speak about bhakti, love to God, it's not that we say, okay, this is our religion, and then you have to join our religion, you have to sign up and fully identify now with
Absolutely.
this, even external stuff of, okay, I'm now a Hare Krishna. So I think it's a very difficult and very subtle thing to people actually understand that it's a way of life, it's a philosophy, it's and even like a very genuine, spiritual, how to say, like a state of consciousness, and and like you explained, like so different religions from different paths, they actually can, there's truth in it in every religion. They have something in it, and it's not that you're 100% wrong, you're 100% right. So it's like, so I think for people in general, it's a very difficult thing to understand it. So it's my feeling. Therefore, I always say you have to surrender to Jesus. You have to commit yourself now to the Quran or whatever. This is a very
That's true. There are two extremes. One is being inclusivist. We include everyone. All paths
everything is
are
alright,
equally good. Whatever you might choose, it's okay.
Yeah.
Inclusivist. And there are other which are exclusivist. Our path is the exclusive one. Other paths from devil. Exclusivist. So these two are extremes. Life is in between two. Those who are the cults which are started by some founder, of course, we exclude them. Yeah, but there are some genuine religions also which actually make people sattvic. We include them also. That in a way you have basic template of devotion, but some details are missing. That's okay. But yes, you progress. That's okay. But if you see that in terms of different religions also, there are two kind of details. One is exoteric detail, and there is esoteric detail. In terms of exoteric details, they may be different. A Christian may kneel down and pray to Jesus Christ, or a Muslim may pray like this, or a Hindu may pray like this, or fasting days are different. So exoteric details may be different. But esoteric details are same, which is devotion to God. Actually, God is great and I belong to Him. So esoteric details are same. Chanting the names of God, whether 99 names of Allah, whether Christ's name, in Christianity, or we see Sanatana Dharma, Hare Ranam, Hare Ranam, Hare Ranamaiva Kevalam. So chanting the names of God. So esoteric details are same. But in terms of esoteric details, even further more details, that's there in Sanatana Dharma. So that ways we see that we include some and we exclude few. But yes, ultimately path of devotion, pure, loving devotion to God, that is what we are meant for, which is the natural function of the soul, irrespective of a particular society, whether ISKCON or some other society. No, it is beyond that. Bhakti, devotion.
Yes,
That's the ultimate path.
this is excellent, and it brings me right to my next question.
Okay.
That this is good. Okay, in a private conversation, we accept perfect. But what happens, for example, when let's say our movement is the Hare Krishna, the ISKCON movement, is a so-called preaching movement.
Oh, yes.
Right? And then we have other faiths which are also on their preaching drives. You might call them preaching drives or conversion drives, etc.
Yeah.
So I'm asking you this question because again you have a strong opinion and you're not you don't shy away from expressing it. You are very much you
I
don't
express
tolerate
myself, yes.
right.
Yeah.
So then what happens when two movements, two faiths who are so-called preaching on a drive, they are bound to collide, they are bound to conflict.
There are two kinds of conversions. One is horizontal conversion and there is vertical conversion. So usually those missionaries are there, they have horizontal conversion. That means the person was materialist and the person continues to be a materialist. Although earlier this person was a Hindu, now this person has become a Christian or this person has become Muslim or whatever. But this person was a materialist, today also is still a materialist. So that's like a horizontal conversion. So Hare Krishnas, we are also into conversion, but we are into vertical conversion. In the sense we convert the person from materialist to a spiritualist. And this conversion is good conversion. Otherwise, just the person continues from materialist to materialist. That's not really a good kind of conversion. Now we have got more people in our party, yeah. But sir, this person is still a materialist. So what's the use of this kind of conversion? So we also convert. We Hare Krishnas. We also go to West. We are also preachy. But what kind of conversion is that? That is vertical conversion. Converting a materialist to a spiritualist. Like during the time of Srila Prabhupada, there was one rabbi. He was a priest. And he said, Swamiji, I love to chant Hare Krishna. Yet at the same time, I can't give up my duties being a priest. And Srila Prabhupada said, you please continue your duties as a priest. At the same time, you can chant Hare Krishna. This shows this, our Srila Prabhupada is so respectful towards other religions. That okay, you can continue. We don't say, oh, what Jesus Christ, our way is the only way. No. When he was delivering a speech in USA, so there was some group of young boys, aggressive boys, they came to the stage and they challenged him that Swamiji, why are you preaching to us? So first let us know what is your opinion about Jesus Christ. And our glorious founder Acharya, Srila Prabhupada, he said, well, we see ourselves as servant of the lotus feet of Jesus Christ. Wow. Even a Christian would not say that. I am a servant of the lotus feet of Jesus Christ. What respect. Amazing, actually. So we convert people more spiritually, from materialist to a spiritualist. And whatever duties, even somebody is a rabbi or a priest in a church, you can continue, it's okay. We have all reverence for Jesus Christ. Even some of the churches in the West, when they are not able to maintain that church, so that church is being, so some Hare Krishna devotee purchases it and we make a temple. But Jesus Christ is still there on the cross. We don't remove him. It's a Hare Krishna temple. We are not Christians. Remove Jesus Christ. No, he's still regarded. In fact, now dusting happened from the Jesus Christ deity. And then dust was removed. Earlier it was when it was a church, so it was now barren, so nobody was taking care of church. So Jesus Christ deities were also cleansed nicely. And then there is a Radha Krishna temple also. Wow. So that means we show respect to other religions and at the same time we are proud of our Sanatana Dharma practices, bhakti and all that. So that shows that we are not really a cult kind of preachers. We actually make people spiritualist. And we can see the spiritual culture. People become so calm, composed, respectful, forgiving once they become Hare Krishna devotees. Although journey continues till love of God, but even in the beginning we can see such divine qualities manifesting. Wow. So we are also preachy in nature, but we are not into horizontal conversion. We are into vertical conversion.
Very wonderful idea, I think. Yeah.
You're preaching a lot in universities, I guess.
Yeah, a lot of universities. Yes, when I go to colleges, speak to youngsters. Yeah.
So how's, if I can
Yeah,
interrupt
yes,
your,
yes,
your
yeah, sure, please.
how you feel like nowadays students, young people, especially in India, I guess,
Yeah.
how they, picking up Christian consciousness, how they like the idea, because many are like, very educated, very, intelligent young people, how they, and also like in comparison, like to, maybe in your younger age and
Yes,
to
yes.
now, so I see sometimes people coming into Mayapur, like groups of students, and they seem like really on top of it and
Yeah.
intelligent, but they also picking up Christian consciousness.
Yeah,
so.
that's true. Actually, youngsters, they need two things. Firstly, all of their questions should be answered logically and sensibly, practically. Second, they need good role models. That means the person should not be just a good talker. Apart from that, the person should be very well behaved. That means he walks his talk. So when they see a good example and their questions are being answered, youngsters, they come to spirituality. When I go to colleges, wow, such good response is there. But we are to speak to them, educate to them so that they connect. There are 3 C's to communication: connect, convey, convince. First, connect should be there, then convey, and then convince. In case the connect is not happening, so in conveying, lot of hard work, and convincing them would also be a hard work. And mostly they are not convinced because connection was not there. So first we have to work on the connection part, and then convey, and then convince. So we should educate them like that. I'm just sharing one of the examples that in one of the colleges, it was a session of mine, but after half an hour there was 2020 match, India-South Africa. So then organizers said, "Oh, Prabhuji, we did not realize this, that it is going to be 2020 match. So children, they may leave. The students may leave." So I said, "So it's okay. It's okay, So when half an hour was over, so I said, "I know today's cricket match, 2020 match, and those who want to leave, they can go and watch the match. I will not mind at all, please. But those who came, thank you very, very much." And even if I announce this, after hearing this announcement, maybe 5-7 children, they left from backside. Rest, everyone continued. And there was 2.5 hours of Q&A session. In parallel, there is India-South Africa 2020 matches happening. I was thinking that, my God, the youth is changing. They would have left and, let's go and watch a cricket match. Asking Q&A for 2.5 hours. In fact, the organizer had to come at the end and said, "Okay, guys, we are done. It's already 2.5 hour Q&A session." So that means they have the spark of spirituality. We are to fan it. We are to do that in a way that they feel connected. And today I see so many youngsters, they are coming to spirituality. Some way they are fed up of themselves. There's also a sense of insecurity because AI is coming. Because of AI, jobs would certainly go down, for sure. And that way there is a sense of insecurities. And because they're experimenting with everything, like say drugs, relationships, and there is frustration as well. And because they are frustrated, there is a sense of insecurity as well. So material life is collapsing. And here they are seeing that a spiritual example is very convincing. So it is very inspiring thing to make a shift from material life to spiritual life. So that way I could see that currently the whole atmosphere is very encouraging for spirituality among the youths. I see all across the globe, every 40 seconds there is a suicide. That means people are not happy. All across the globe, there are 450 million people having depression. And out of these 450 million people, 55 million people also attempt suicide. That's so sad. But this is happening. This is happening. So somewhere, because of this vacuum in them, insecurity towards material life, and spiritually, they are seeing that there are some bright examples. They are pursuing spirituality. So we are to really help them. And with this spiritual prosperity, material prosperity would automatically come. So that way, I would say that students are ready for it. We are to fan that spark of spirituality in them rightly. And then this spark will really transform into a flame, a fire of devotion.
So what is your main arguments for them to, because I guess you have to tell them also if you pick up spiritual life, you also improve your material life as well. It's not, because sometimes, because it's still some people's mind is, okay, either material life or spiritual life. Either have to give up everything, become spiritual or a
Yeah.
yogi or whatever.
Yeah.
So what is it like your main arguments that actually no, spirituality also will improve also your material life? as
Actually, ISKCON, we see that in ISKCON there are so many examples where people were successful materially. They were doing pretty good. They are engineers, they are doctors, and they have done their masters and PhDs, and now they have left and now they're in spirituality. So that means it is not that people who are in spirituality are dumbos who are failures in their material life and now what to do, man? Oh, let's go and chant Hare Krishna. It's not like that.
Yeah,
So-
that's many time in the West. It's the
Yeah,
case,
that's
with
true.
devotees.
So we also help the students in their career life. Like for example, say like I'm from computer science background. When students they say, Prabhuji, I am from computer science, engineering. So I ask them, okay, which book are you studying for C, C++? They say, no, this book. I recommend that you study this book. It's very good. Yashwant Kanitkar. Let us see. Nice. Tata McGraw-Hill, complete reference. Java.
You still keep yourself up to date with all this stuff,
Yeah,
or
I have got some remnants still. But
there must be because time is
yeah.
it's changing.
So, when those who are programmers, they have to keep themselves updated so that they can offer their services nicely. So when I give these kind of recommendations, they say, well, Prabhuji is not just about spiritual well-being. He's also helping us in our studies. I also give them guides, some guidelines how to study well, how to have good comprehension, because they study and then they forget. So Prabhuji, I study but I forget what to do. I give them some of the tips so that they can retain that knowledge, better comprehension. So then they see that, okay, spiritualist is offering a holistic care. It's not just spiritual care. It's more mental care, academic care, physical care. We also recommend them what they should eat in case they're having some kind of physical ailment. So when we give this kind of holistic care to them, and then they come, like they're saying, I don't care how much you know till the time I know how much you care. So when we care for them, then youths, they come, yes. So we have to give them that holistic care. And they come.
Interesting.
I have another question if you
Yeah.
don't.
Yes,
Please.
Oh yeah.
No, go ahead.
Please,
No
please.
problem.
Anyways, I'm just interested. What is like your current state of projects you're working on? There's in Delhi especially.
Yeah.
Is the temple finished?
No, not at all. We are working on ISKCON Dwarka. We are
Dwarka,
making a very palatial, beautiful temple for Shri Shri Rukmani Dwarkadish. And because Rukmani Dwarkadish, so Dwarka was a very opulent place. So we are making one of the most opulent temples in Delhi for their lordships. And around say 70 to 80 crores have already been spent. And we need around say 70 crores more to complete the structure, and then the finishing would also follow. But we are struggling with money. Why? Because we spend most of our money during COVID feeding people. Because people who quarantine, they can't eat. They are quarantined in 20th floor. They can't come down. So we hired 100 drones to deliver prasadam.
Really?
Yes, 5 plates. Hare Krishna, 5 plates of prasadam. So
Really?
yeah, so every day around 5 lakh plates of prasadam. 5 lakh 16,000 was recorded by India Book of Records. So we fed around 5 crore plates. So 5 crore plates, 5 crore, and each plate is worth rupees 20. So 5 crore multiplied by 20 makes 100 crores. So we spend 100 crores in feeding people during COVID. So for general masses, COVID is over. But for ISKCON Dwarka, COVID is still on because we are still paying the money.
Okay.
Because we borrowed money. We also borrowed some of the rice, dal, spices, so that we can offer best of prasadam to those who are needy people during COVID. So since we are running in debt, so we have to repay the debt. In parallel, we have to make temple. So that's why we are struggling with resources. But yes, we got so much of blessings. Ultimately, it was by the grace of Lord Krishna. Credit doesn't go to us. The credit goes to Lord Shri Krishna, who enabled us to do this task, this service to humanity. And we also had COVID care center. And around 11,000 patients got recovered. Not even a single casualty. We used to give them prasadam, Ayurvedic medicine, and kirtan. So a devotee would go with PPP kit and then do kirtan with them. In this way, 100% recovery. All 11,000 people who left our COVID care center, they were chanting Hare Krishna. Wow. But in terms of financial thing, we are still, we are paying the money which we borrowed. And that is, the project is running slow, but it's okay. So Rukmani Dwarkadish allowed the money to happen to serve the humanity during COVID. And now people are also reciprocating, they are giving here and there money. So in this way, the things are going on. So we are working on this project, Shri Shri Rukmini Dwarkadish Temple, ISKCON Dwarka, Delhi. But yes, but the preaching is going on, education is going on, service to humanity is going on, prasadam distribution is happening, Naam Sankirtan is happening. So the core activities of the temple, which are supposed to be there, are happening already.
Amazing. Amazing. This actually, I mean, you kind of foreshadowed my what my next question was on
Okay.
the agenda. So, you, again, you are quite young, very
Oh,
young.
If I can
No,
ask-
I'm in my late 40s. I'm an old guy.
Yeah, come on, like
late 40s?
yeah, it's,
Yeah.
and and you are very dynamic, and you like you just now mentioned. I'm sure you haven't even mentioned all of the different projects that you are a part of. So you are dynamic. You are doing lots of things. You are young. So and you have some vision. I'm sure there's some vision driving you. So my question is this: that what is your vision for your life personally, as a person, individual? What is your vision for your life? What is your vision for ISKCON? What is your vision for India? And what is your vision for the world? So let's start part by part.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, now.
So my vision regarding myself, I don't have any vision for myself. My life is for serving humanity. My life is to bring people closer to the grace of God. What I'm doing now is what I would be doing after 15 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, till the time I take my last breath. What I'm doing now, I would be doing the same thing. I would be making videos on YouTube, Instagram, etc. I would be preaching to the youths or whatever, whosoever needs my guidance, whatever I'm learning from the devotees of Lord Krishna, from the scriptures. I would keep doing the same thing. So I don't have any vision for my own self that one day I'll be there. I'm relishing the path, and what I'm learning, I'm just giving to others, because I follow the saying that when you give Krishna, you get Krishna. So more you give Krishna, more you get Krishna. So that way, I will just continue like this. So I don't have any vision for myself becoming a sannyasi, becoming a guru, or a GBC. Well, I don't deserve all of this. These are very exalted services, but I will continue as a humble servant of everyone. So that's my vision for myself. Regarding ISKCON, I know that ISKCON is a very genuine, bona fide society, spiritually very vibrant, extremely rich philosophy, a very beautiful culture, and it is the ultimate path of devotion. Yeah. So I'll try to spread the glories of ISKCON, what ISKCON is doing all across the globe, because ISKCON is poor in one thing: marketing. We don't market what we do. And outside, somebody, Guruji walks on a ramp, and then there is all click, 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 click. But here, ISKCON is doing so much for society. So I would like to bring all the good things which ISKCON is doing for society to the masses. Like recently, I made a video on tribal care, which is being done by Bhakti Purushottam Swami Maharaj. People should know that ISKCON is not just about rich people. We also work on ground with tribal people. We are there with them. So I would like to highlight what ISKCON is doing for society. And of course, the philosophy which is coming from the acharyas, I'll present it in a way, in the best possible way, where people can understand it, relish it. The glories of the Supreme Lord, His name, form, qualities, pastimes, reciprocations, His mercy. I would do that. And regarding India, I have the vision that I should really contribute in whatever way I can to make India a spiritual capital of the world. Because India is supposed to rule the world, but not in a way like a dictator, but in a way with humility, service, and like a spiritual teacher for a whole world. So I want India to become a spiritual capital, where all across the globe people should come to India to learn spirituality, and we should have a university for spirituality. Like in Mayapur Dham, we are planning to have a university.
Yes.
In future, we'll have university. People would come and apply for courses, graduation, post-graduation, masters, doctorate level degrees in spirituality.
Yes.
And that's what is required. So in whatever way I can contribute to that vision, where India becomes spiritual capital of the whole world and rules the world, being a guru of the whole world with compassion and humility. That's what is my vision there for India. And of course, India is fastest growing economy. Currently, we are 5th in number, and by 2030, we would be 3rd in the world, and very soon, maybe by 2040, 45, we would be number 1 in terms of economy. And by this good economy, we would serve the humanity. Like during COVID, India gave to the world 150 crore vaccines in many of the African countries free of cost. Wow, that's what is compassion is, service to everyone. So I would like to contribute to that vision of India being a spiritual guru for the whole world. Yeah.
Jai.
And if you're already in the flow, maybe you can talk about Mayapur also. What is your vision of about Mayapur? What do you feel can Mayapur? What's the potential of Mayapur? What can Mayapur become?
Actually, Mayapur, that means Maya can become poor in your heart in case you come to Mayapur. Yes, because Maya is creating delusion all across the globe. So Maya should become poor. So where? In Mayapur. So Mayapur Dham is a spiritual capital for ISKCON. But somewhere I see that it would become a spiritual capital for India also. Of course, there are other holy places like Ayodhya, and in South we have various holy places like Tirupati, and these are very, very glorious. But I see that in terms of spiritual education and spiritual inspiration, Mayapur will play a very significant role. We are going to have this massive, biggest temple in the world, where 10,000 people can stand together and attend the Aarti, admiring the beautiful, gorgeous, all illustrious, effulgent darshan of Radha Madhava Ashtaki Vrinda, the Goswamis and the Panchatattva. Wow. Lord Narsingadev. Wow. They would see the cosmology in the form of chandelier. Wow. So everything is going to be wow about Mayapur Dham. So I see that Mayapur is having a great future. And in case people actually want to see United Nations, they should come to Mayapur Dham. Yes. Here we have common center, that is Krishna. And here we have devotees from Ukraine, Russia. So politically, Ukraine and Russia may be fighting. But here we see Ukraine and Russian devotees dancing together. That shows that yes, we are one in heart. So people may come from different nationalities, different cultural backgrounds. But yet we are all united in heart. Because our hearts are beating Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So it's same. So even I may not know Mandarin, but like if I meet any devotee from China, he say Hare Krishna. I would say, oh, Hare Krishna Prabhu. Nice. So this Hare Krishna connects us. So I would say Mayapur is contributing to that. Even any political leader, when they come and ask for votes, when they come to Bengal, they say Jai Gaunitai. Because currently Bengal is planning to change. And here is the nucleus of that supernova explosion of spirituality. And that is getting ready here in Mayapur Dham. Beautiful, gorgeous temple. So many wonderful, great devotees. Such nice communities we have here. Spiritual education would be there. So people would be coming to Mayapur. So, and because of I Love Mayapur channel, I would say many millions of people have come to know about Mayapur Dham. Otherwise, people, Mayapuri, maybe you are talking about Mayapuri. Yeah. But now Mayapur. Mayapuri means a place which is full of Maya. But Mayapur means your Maya can become poor. So that is, I would say, Mayapur has got a lot of scope. And of course, because it's the land of Yuga Avatar. Yuga Avatar is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So gradually his glories would also expand, and then more and more people would come. And we see during Navadip Mandal Parikrama, around 10,000 people, they participate in Navadip Mandal Parikrama. Fabulous. So this number should increase, and it will increase by leaps and bounds. So I would say it has got a bright future. And those who would like to join this, a place of bright future would also have bright future in their future. So Mayapur Dham ki jai.
I'm genuinely curious, Prabhu. You said you in 2010 you sort of joined ISKCON.
Full-time as a monk.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's a long time. I mean, relatively,
Yeah,
14 years is not a short amount of time.
Yeah.
You must have had some negative experiences. You must have seen things, heard things, experienced things which are not great. Everything's not perfect in the world. Everything's not perfect in ISKCON.
Yeah.
And Bhakti philosophy ideally might be of the highest standard, but when it comes to practical life, there are many things which go wrong.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So I sort of just want to, and also ISKCON as an institution is not perfect. We must accept. I want you to reflect and share some things which were challenging, which were difficult, some realizations, because otherwise we don't want to leave people with a picture everything is amazing, perfect, which sometimes when people speak to you, you're naturally in the mode of a motivational speaker or inspirer. I understand, but let's
So I would say everyone is having their own individual journey. When I also came to ISKCON, even before joining full time as a monk, I also had some experiences where somebody did not behave in the way a devotee should behave. Firstly, we should understand that we are yet not devotees. Very few are actually devotees. We are in a process to become devotees. So since we are in a process to become devotees, myself also, I would not claim Amog Leela Das has become a devotee. I am also in my journey to become a devotee. So since we are on this process to become devotees of the Supreme Lord, so everyone is having their own journey. And while having this conditioning and in the process to become free from conditioning, some person can behave in a way the person is not supposed to. Like for example, in case you are standing, you are stable. In case you are now putting your step next forward, so and you are now stepping, you are taking your step off, and now here you are not completely settled, and here also you're taking your foot off. Now in between it's a very unstable condition, and somebody just pushes and you will fall. In case you are settled here, stable.
Right.
You are here, stable. But in between is unstable. So most of the devotees are in this phase. In material life, they are stepped off. In spiritual life, they are not completely settled. So it's an in-between phase. So that's why sometimes they are prone to get agitated, become angry, or behave in a way where we do not expect a devotee should behave. But we should understand it's a transition phase. Once they become settled, now they don't have any such mood swings. They are very stable. But yes, in the beginning, this kind of abrupt behavior can happen. Like there was one Srila Prabhupada's disciple, he was in USA and somehow his motorbike crossed the yellow line. Where we are not supposed to go beyond that. But somehow he crossed it because he was a little bit speeding up. So police wala came, hey, how dare you cross the line, man? And then this person also came down from his bike and he said, how dare you speak like this to me? So this police wala said, you wearing this cloth, he was wearing dhoti kurta. He said, you're speaking like this to me? Is this the way showing finger to me? Is this the way to speak? Is this what you have learned being a spiritual person? He said, if you would have met me 1 year back, first I would have beaten you, then I would have talked to you. Now since I have come to this Hare Krishnas, I have come to this level, that now I'm speaking like this. After 1 year, I'll not do this as well. So earlier my fever was 105, now I come to 100. I'm still having fever, but I'm better than before. So same is the case with any ISKCON devotee. When we say devotees behave like this, well, we all are taking medicines of chanting Hare Krishna. Transformation happens gradually. We can't say just by wearing dhoti kurta, 300 rupees dhoti, 150 rupees kurta. I got kanti mala, 30, 40 rupees and 10 rupees tilak. Yes, devotee. Well, in terms of external packaging, we have become devotees. But in terms of transformation of the heart, it's a journey. So when somebody doesn't behave properly as a devotee, we should know that the person is gradually becoming devotee. But what the person was and what the person is now, there is a change. Although the journey continues to become a spiritually perfect person, where a person behaves in a very sober, gentle way, in a very accommodating way, in a very forgiving way. But this happens, but in a due course of time. But divine qualities, they come, but in a due course of time. And that's okay. So whenever I had any bitter experience, I would say, well, I am feeling hurt. It is because of my ego. I am so sensitive. Somebody just said a small thing. So I'll not give you a VIP card on Janmashtami. I served so selflessly, I could not get even one Janmashtami card. So somewhere it is my hypersensitivity that I'm feeling bad on small things. I can't forgive. I can carry grudge. Well, Prabhu, the fault is not yours. I have the fault. So somewhere I am to work on that. Like for example, somebody is having a pimple. And out of affection, somebody's, hey, boogly, whoosh. God, nonsense. Can't you see I got a pimple here? It was just a gentle gesture of affection. But since I am having pimple, I am having infection. So because of that infection, I felt hurt. So we all have those pimples of ego. When somebody even does boogly, whoosh, God, nonsense. But actually the fault is not of the other person. It's my own fault. I have to work on that. So once we are free from these vices, and then these small things, somebody did not give me prasadam, somebody did not speak to me properly, it's okay, And more we become spiritually advanced, more we become empathetic. Okay, I said Hare Krishna, but somebody did not say Hare Krishna and just left. Did not say anything. So negative mindedness, I would say, nonsense, arrogant fool. The person did not say Hare Krishna. But this is my negativity basically. with positive mindset, because now spiritually as we are growing, I can be more empathetic. Oh, maybe this person is a little bit thinking of something else. Something is worrying him or her. All prayers for this person. This is how we evolve, So that's why I had some experiences, but the fault was not of the other person. The fault is mine. And this is how we should see all these different incidences. It's there because of my karma. All these different situations are there for me to learn, to grow further. Like that. To quote the verse, Trinadapi Sunichena Tarotapi Sanshna is easy. But once you get into the services, in dealing with people, devotees, then this verse comes to test. Yeah. That's why every devotee should do some management. Because then when you are in management, then this verse actually comes to test. So to quote it in a lecture is easy. But when we get into ground level reality, then we are tested how much actually philosophy is sinking in. Is it just a database in my head, or is it like a nectar in my heart? So in case it's like a nectar in the heart, then we are cool. We are not affected by all these different, some childish gestures. No, we are not. So in this way, I had some experiences. Well, but they were all there. All of these were there so that I can test myself. They were like a barometer for me. They were like a litmus test for me, that how much I am acidic inside. So that way we should see it and then grow further, and we should pray for the other person. Life is very short. The goal is very great. Krishna Prem. We can't get stuck up in all of these grudges and complaining. I'm a complain boy. I'm a complain girl. No. We should not have that. Forgive and forget and move on towards that greatest goal. Divine love for God. In this way, life is cool. It's a festival in itself, yes.
I mean, because one thing I also wanted to ask you that, we have had examples of, let's say, very strong, clear-cut preachers like Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, no compromise, no nothing. And we've also had very others who are like more accommodating, soft, etc. In general, you seem to take a slightly stronger stance, let's say, than many other preachers or public figures in ISKCON do. Do you somewhere regret that, or do you somewhere feel maybe you should tone it down a little bit? Or you are like, okay, this is who I am, this is how I will be.
I see that more the kind of variety we have in terms of preachers. More people would come to ISKCON. Like we need people like Gaur Gopal Prabhu, who actually preaches to a certain class of people, who can actually connect to morality more. And then gradually they can come to spirituality also. We have very good preachers like Gauranga Prabhu. He's also very much human in his presentation, moralistic, and yet at the same time spiritualistic also. There are people who are like me also, who preaches to the Sanatani people, those who have the flag of Sanatan Dharma. And of course, at the same time, Gaudiya Vaishnavism. And that's why I have got those sessions also, which are live.
So it's very interesting. So you are kind of aware, very much aware that your kind of connect audience is the...
yes, that's true. Like we have Amrendra Prabhu. He's a hardcore Gaudiya Vaishnava preacher.
Yes.
So more the kind of diversity we have, more we can connect to more masses. If we have only one kind of preacher, then certain class of people only come to ISKCON. But we should actually have the whole world as our family. And for that, we should have diversity in preaching. There should be urban preachers. There should be rural preachers. There should be Bhagavad Katha speakers. There should also be morality wala speakers. There should also be Sanatani wala preachers. There should also be a preacher who can connect to the Western audience. There should be a preacher who can connect to the tribal people. More the kind of diversity and variety we have in terms of preachers, more we can connect to the whole world. And then whole world can actually become a Hare Krishna world. So that's why none of the style is bad. There are customers for all kind of preaching and education. Like if you see Gaur Gopal Prabhu, there are millions of people that get influenced by him. Millions. And somewhere then they gradually come, right? And then they go for, say, Gita course later on. Perfectly fine. So in this way, everyone has got their own taste of, flavor of preaching. And we should do that. And that way, none of them are bad. None of them. Whether somebody is a hardcore Gaudiya Vaishnava preacher, or a Vaishnava preacher, simple Vaishnava philosophy wala preacher, or someone like moralistic preacher. We need even more grey shades in between shades. So then we see that whole world will come to ISKCON actually. That yes, they have all variety. We have Madhwa's rock band. You like Kirtans? Okay, we have got Madhwa's rock band. We have GKD, and though a funky kind of presentation of spirituality, that's also required. He has got his own audience.
Yes.
That's there.
It took me a long time to appreciate this. I was like, because it's just it's not my flavor.
Yeah.
So I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
But now I slowly am
He
understanding.
has. Like we have Pradyumna Prabhu and Sudevi Mataji. There are people who connect so much with them. They're householders that are from foreign nationality and following culture of bhakti even more than us. Wow. So we need all different varieties in terms of preachers, and that's what is required.
Okay.
Yeah, all colors, rainbow.
I think the problem comes when people start thinking, okay, you should not do like this, you should not do like this, you should not be like this. That's the whole problem. First of all, why are you actually concerned about,
Yes.
first of all this, and second,
Yeah.
do your own stuff, and do it, if
You'll see such criticism comes from those people who are disconnected from the outside world. They are they have their own mini world, and they think that this world is there's a whole world. But actually there's a world exists which outside their own world. So people like me, and there are other preachers as well, we are also connected to the outside world. We see how people think, how people live. And that's why we see that that kind of education is also required, which is very moralistic. There is no Krishna in that speech. But we see that gradually they come actually to the path of devotion. Gradually, they would take their time. So that's why usually those who are living in their own mini worlds, so when they come out, then we would see the reality. That is how things function.
I'm positively surprised and genuinely happily surprised to meet you in person, because this is the first time I've had an opportunity to speak to you person to person. And I guess because you're never pretending, you are the way you are, and no matter what, everybody has a perception that a spiritual person, a monk, should be like this, should sit like this, should speak like this, should behave like this. But now I just understand. I can feel that you are just sincerely, genuinely, this is who you are. You don't pretend, you don't put up a show in front of the camera or in front of other people that now I have to speak very soberly and behave.
Being brave.
So just I continue to be the way you are, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
I feel genuinely very uplifted and inspired and happy to see a person who has no pretenses. He is the way he is. He speaks the way he wants to speak. And yeah, Hari Bol.
Nice. Thank you so much. Thank you for kind words.
Yeah.
Wow, good ending words. Very nice.
Yeah.
Good.
So thank you so much, Prabhu.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming here and giving us your time and clearing a lot of things, inspiring us, clearing a lot of misconceptions and confusions which many of us and our audience members must have. And just to conclude, if there's anything else that you would wish to share with us, with our audience, something that you are working on, something you would like to appeal to the audience, something you wish we would have asked you but did not, any last parting words you want to
Well, I would say I think this was very good. I enjoyed it, this conversation. And to the audience, I can say, please keep loving I Love Mayapur and keep watching these wonderful videos, great content and festive for the eyes and very relishing for the heart. So keep watching and keep relishing and keep advancing on the path of bhakti to Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I wish you all the very best. And of course, we had such wonderful hosts who are interviewing a ghost, but yet so lovely. Thank you very, very much for inviting me. Really feeling blessed. Thank you so much.
Prabhu.
Thank you for your
Hare Krishna.
blessings.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you so
Krishna.
much.
All right. Have something, Prabhu. You didn't even take a sip of water.
No. Yeah.
Please have some. These are homemade, Mataji made.
Mataji made. What is this, Mataji?
It's a cashew, walnut, dried blueberry, and dried cranberry.
Wow, this is very nutritious.
Alright.